Have you ever noticed how a house can be full of memories, yet feel completely empty? Think of a man, let's call him Arthur, in his late 70s. He sits in his favorite armchair, the one worn down perfectly to the shape of his body over thousands of evenings. The setting sun paints the room in soft, golden stripes. On the walls, on the mantelpiece, everywhere you look, there are photographs. A wedding day, full of youthful hope. School pictures of his children, their toothy grins frozen in time. A family vacation to the beach, everyone squinting in the bright sun. His life's work is all there, captured in silver frames. But the silence in the room is deafening. The phone doesn't ring as much as it used to. The visits from his children have become shorter, more dutiful. There was no big fight, no single dramatic event that pushed them away. It was something far quieter and far more tragic. It was a lifetime of small, silent habits. Habits he never even knew he had, that slowly, year by year, built invisible walls around his heart and his home. We spend our whole lives building a family, a legacy. But what if the very things we do every day, the parts of our personality we think are normal, are the ones that can end up leaving us feeling utterly alone inside the life we worked so hard to create? It's a terrifying thought, and it's one we must face if we want our final chapters to be filled with the warmth and connection we all deserve. These aren't obvious mistakes. They are the silent currents that can pull a life off course. And understanding them is the first step to finding your way back. The habit of needing to be right. It starts with the smallest of things, doesn't it? The correct way to load a dishwasher. The right route to the grocery store that saves 2 minutes. An opinion on the evening news stated not as a thought, but as an undeniable fact. For many of us, especially from a generation that valued certainty, being right feels like being strong. It's a habit we learned early on, a way to navigate the world with confidence. We believe that by correcting the people around us, we are helping them. We are sharing our wisdom. But as the years go by, something changes. After you retire, when you spend more quiet hours with your spouse or loved ones, this habit of correction can begin to feel less like help and more like a constant judgment. Imagine a simple conversation over breakfast. Your wife mentions a memory from years ago, but she gets a small detail wrong. The instinct, sharp and immediate, is to jump in. No, it wasn't a Tuesday, it was a Wednesday. And Uncle John wasn't wearing a blue hat. It was green. You might even smile, pleased with the accuracy of your own memory. But did you see the light in her eyes dim just for a second? Did you notice how she grew quiet afterwards? The story left unfinished? You won the point, but you lost the connection. You sacrificed intimacy on the altar of a trivial fact. Over time, this creates a landscape of fear. Your loved ones start to hesitate before they share a thought or a story, bracing themselves for the inevitable correction. They start to feel that what they think, what they feel, what they remember, is somehow less valid than what you do. This isn't about the dishwasher or the route or the hat. It is about making the people you love feel small. The great, beautiful wisdom that comes with age isn't about knowing all the facts. It is the profound realization that a peaceful, loving home is infinitely more valuable than being right. It is learning to find joy not in winning an argument, but in seeing the person across from you feel happy, heard, and loved. It is the simple, powerful choice to value the relationship more than your own ego. But sometimes, the arguments we refuse to lose aren't with others, but with ghosts from our own past. The habit of carrying yesterday's burdens. In the quiet moments of the day, when the house is still and there are no distractions, where does your mind go? For so many of us, it drifts backward, not always to the happy memories, but to the hurts. A harsh word spoken by a sibling 40 years ago. A promise a friend broke in the prime of life. A betrayal from a business partner that still has the power to make your jaw clench. We hold on to these grudges thinking they keep us safe, that they are a shield protecting us from being hurt again. We believe our anger is a weapon we are aiming at the person who wronged us. But it is a devastating illusion. Holding a grudge is like drinking a cup of poison every single day and waiting for the other person to die. The only person it harms is the one drinking it. This emotional weight we carry manifests in our bodies. It disrupts our sleep. It raises our blood pressure. It floods our system with stress hormones that age us from the inside out. But the physical toll is only half the story. The true tragedy of a grudge is that it chains you to a past you can never change. It forces you to relive your worst moments over and over again, giving power to people and events that should have faded long ago. It builds a wall around your heart, and you might not even realize that it's not just keeping the old hurts in, it's keeping new joy out. It closes the door to the possibility of reconciliation, of peace, of healing, at a time in life when our days become more precious than gold. The most freeing act available to us in our later years is the act of forgiveness. And here is the secret that takes a lifetime to learn. Forgiveness has almost nothing to do with the other person. It is not about saying what they did was okay. It is not about letting them back into your life. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is the conscious decision to put down a heavy, heavy bag you have been carrying for miles. It is the moment you decide you will no longer be a prisoner of yesterday. It is about untying the rope that binds you to that old pain, not for their sake, but for the sake of your own peace. While some of us are chained to the past, others build a different kind of wall, one that keeps the future out. The habit of saying, "I'm too old for that." Think of the last time a grandchild, with excitement in their eyes, tried to show you a new feature on a smartphone. Or the last time a friend, full of enthusiasm, suggested you join a new walking group or a pottery class at the community center. What was that quiet little voice that immediately whispered in your ear? For many of us, the voice says, "Oh, that's too complicated. That's not for me. I'm too old to learn new tricks." We say it with a chuckle, as if it's a charming, harmless fact of life. But this habit, this quiet retreat from the world, is one of the most dangerous of all. It is the beginning of a slow fade into irrelevance. This isn't just about learning to use a computer or a tablet. It's about a mindset. Every time we say, "I'm too old," we are tightening the straps on our own straitjacket. We are telling ourselves that our time for growth, for learning, for curiosity is over. The world continues to change, to evolve, to move forward. When we refuse to even dip a toe in its currents, we risk being left behind on the shore. This creates a painful gulf between us and the younger generations we love so dearly. The conversations start to dry up because our worlds have less and less in common. They stop sharing their excitement about new things with us because they expect our gentle refusal. And slowly, without meaning to, we become relics in our own families. Our world shrinks from the vibrant, bustling globe it once was, down to the four walls of our home. It is a self-imposed isolation. The hidden wisdom here is that the goal is not to become an expert. The joy is not in mastering the new skill. The true life-giving joy is in the humility and the courage of being a beginner again. It is in the act of trying. It is in laughing at yourself when you get it wrong. It is in asking your grandchild for help, and in doing so, reversing the roles and giving them the beautiful gift of being the teacher. This is what keeps the mind agile and the spirit young. It's not about learning technology. It's about staying in the conversation of life and showing the people you love that you are still in the game, still curious, still engaged, still here. This retreat from the world often begins with a retreat from our own hearts. The habit of hiding our struggles, the great "I'm fine" lie. How many times in the last week has someone asked you how you are? And how many times have you given the automatic, practiced reply? "I'm fine. Everything's fine. Can't complain." You might have said it while your back was aching, or while your heart was heavy with worry about a friend, or while a wave of simple loneliness was washing over you. We come from a generation that was taught that strength meant stoicism. You don't burden others with your problems. You handle things yourself. You put on a brave face, and for a long time, this was a survival skill. But a habit that once served us can, in our later years, become the very thing that isolates us. This habit of hiding our struggles, of projecting an image of unshakable strength, creates an invisible barrier between us and the people who love us most. They look at us and see the brave face, and they believe it. They think, "Mom is doing great," or "Dad is as strong as ever." They go on with their busy lives, confident that we don't need them. Meanwhile, we sit in our quiet homes, surrounded by their love, yet feeling profoundly alone with our fears or our pains. We have, with the best of intentions, denied them the gift of being there for us. We have denied them the chance to show their love, to offer comfort, to simply sit with us in our worry. We crave connection, yet our own performance of being fine keeps it at arm's length. The most profound wisdom you can discover in later life is that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the absolute foundation of trust and true human connection. It takes immense courage to look at your child, or your spouse, or your dearest friend, and say, "Actually, I'm having a hard day," or "I'm a little scared about this," or "I feel a bit lonely today." In that moment, you are not burdening them. You are trusting them. You are letting them in. You are giving them the honor of seeing your whole heart, not just the polished, edited version. And that is how deep, unbreakable bonds are forged. That is how we find strength, not just in ourselves, but in each other. And this leads us to the final, and perhaps most heartbreaking silent habit of all, the habit of assuming your love is understood. We showed our love differently, didn't we? We showed it by working long hours to provide a roof over our family's head. We showed it by fixing a broken bike, by cooking 1,000 Sunday dinners, by being there, solid and dependable, at every school play and sports game. Our love was an action. It was a verb. We assume they know. Our partner of 50 years, who has slept beside us through storms and celebrations. Our children, whom we raised from helpless infants into capable adults. We assume our love is a self-evident truth, as obvious as the sun in the sky. And so the words themselves often go unspoken. The three simplest, most powerful words in any language. I love you. We might feel it's sentimental or awkward or unnecessary. Of course they know, we think. But here is a truth that can break your heart. Words have a unique power that actions alone cannot replace. A lifetime of providing can still leave a tiny, hidden question in a child's heart. But does he like me? Is she proud of me? A long, companionable silence with a spouse can still leave a quiet ache, a need to hear the affection verbalized just one more time. The absence of these words doesn't mean love isn't there, but it can leave a small, cold space for doubt to creep in. And the deepest regret many people have when standing by a hospital bed or looking at an empty chair is the deafening echo of the loving words they never said. The wisdom here is almost too simple to believe, yet it is the most important of all. Those 3 words are a gift. They are a balm for old hurts. They are a light in moments of darkness. They are a legacy that will warm the hearts of your family long after you are gone. Overcoming a lifetime of awkwardness to simply look your son in the eye and say, "I love you and I'm proud of you." Or to take your wife's hand and say, "After all these years, I love you more than ever," costs you nothing, and it is worth everything. It leaves no room for doubt. It completes the circle. It is the simplest, most perfect way to make sure that the most important thing is not just understood, but is truly, deeply felt. The choice we make today. So we come back to Arthur, sitting in his chair in the quiet, sun-striped room. The invisible walls around him weren't built of malice or anger. They were built from a lifetime of needing to be right, from the heavy weight of old grudges, from the fear of trying new things, from a brave face that hid a lonely heart, and from a love that was felt but too rarely spoken. These are the silent habits, not grand, dramatic failures, but quiet, daily currents that over 50 years can steer a life toward a shore of quiet regret. But the ultimate wisdom of age, the most beautiful and hopeful truth, is that the story is not over. The past is written, but today and tomorrow are blank pages. You are the author. You cannot go back and rewrite the difficult chapters, but you hold the pen for this one right now. The power we have in this very moment is immense. It is the power to change the emotional temperature of our lives and our homes, starting today. So here is my challenge to you. It's a quiet challenge, just for you. Tonight, before you sleep, don't just check that the doors are locked. Take a moment and check the locks on your own heart. Ask yourself, is there one small argument I can just let go of? Is there one person whose memory I can choose to forgive? Not for them, but for me? Is there one new thing, no matter how small, I can be open to trying tomorrow? Is there one true feeling I can share with someone I trust? Is there one "I love you" that is sitting on the tip of your tongue, waiting to be said? You do not have to fix everything at once. Just choose one small act of grace. Because the greatest discovery of our later years is that it is never, ever too late to break a silent habit. It is never too late to tear down a wall, and it is never too late to choose love.